What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Miss Azriel's Gaming. So we're going to be jumping back into another demo for the Choose Wisely Festival. I say Wiley all the time. Wisely Festival. And I believe this one's pronounced Taisho Romance Theater. Now, the dev reached out to me and did let me know that the demo is about 6 hours long. We will not be playing the full 6 hours. They did, however, tell me that I think the main playtime would be like an hour and 30 to get kind of like a good amount of time with the demo. And they said, I believe they said there was like a little bit of cutscene and then you read some of the dialogue afterwards. And that's also a good place to stop as well. So on the Steam page, it says the diverse romance visual novel follows, is that Amnesia? Amnesiac. Okay, so Amnesia. So Amnesiac. There we go. Actor Kotori Sakuma as he uncovers hidden truths and navigates intricate relationships through choices shaping character bonds and story progression. You'll explore various endings and enjoy a blend of mystery and love in the Taisho era. You'll have to forgive me. I'm gonna butcher words. I will butcher names. I already know that, but I'm looking forward to trying this game. So let's go ahead and start where it says grand opening. I think I might be dreaming. A warm darkness wraps around me. In the boundless distance, specks of light glimmer like emeralds. I drift in the amniotic blackness, which bathes my bare eyes, ears, nose, and mouth in the bliss. At the brilliant jade hue engulfs my body, the stars begin to blink in unison. And from the furthest depths, from within me, from such an intimate darkness, rises a chorus of sighs, so familiar that it brings tears to my eyes. Ah, here you are. Something brushes gently against my cheek, delicate as a feather. It stirs a breath of air that leaves ripples in my vision. Even smaller than I thought, so it's been this long. I want to open my mouth to ask whose voice this is, but what reaches my senses even before the voice is a taste, bitter and impossible to describe. Why can't I remember your name, no matter how hard I try? At some point, I'm not sure when, that feather-like sensation gently settled over my face. Why are you making that face? That's not like you at all. Well, I'd like to gaze at you a little more, but this place is not for you. I'm sorry to have troubled you. Kotori Sakuma. Next time we meet, don't forget me. Kotori? My head hurts. Who's calling me? Ugh. Are you alright? Come on, wake up. A voice tinged with concern, someone gently shaking my shoulder. I pry my eyes open. The familiar interior of the car swims into view, and so does Kazuya, his face taut with worry. Thoughts and memories fall back in place. The din outside sweeps through the windows as the car speeds along a road lined with gas street lamps. We're on the way to our new residence in Ginza. The troop leader, Kazuya, seems intent on settling down in Tokyo this time. No, I'm fine. I guess I just overslept. I couldn't wake you up at all. Were you having a nightmare? My body's still sluggish from sleep and cold. Clammy sweat clings to my skin. In the car window, I see my reflection, haggard and drawn. Maybe I did dream of something, but no matter how hard I try, I can't dredge up the faintest memory of it. I glance at Kazuya. Anxiety is still written all over his face, and he's been so pale lately. For a moment, I can't tell which one of us looks more like they've just escaped a nightmare. I better not worry him. It's nothing. I'm just a bit tired. What about you? You didn't get any rest either. You look even worse than me. You were tossing and turning in your sleep. I thought you were having another flare-up. As long as you're fine now, that's all that matters. It's been a whole year. We can't expect everything to be like it was back then. The flare-ups. That's a long story. We were supposed to arrive in Tokyo a year ago to begin our tour. But maybe that's how accidents are, with no rhyme or reason. Something happened to our train that day, and I hit my head during the accident, so I can't recall much from before. But by some stroke of luck, no one else in the troupe was seriously injured. Only I was knocked unconscious for quite a while, leaving me with headaches that come and go. Since then, Kazuya has gotten overly worried about me. His own health has been getting worse too, though he's still in good spirits. Just like Hatsuyuki, she claims it's only from the shock, but whenever I say to take it easy or get some rest, she either doesn't answer or changes the subject. Well, I'll get some proper rest once the premiere is over. Things are fine for now. Thank you for caring so much about me. Anyway, Tokyo seems to have changed again. Did the tracks run this far or out last time? It's quite the sight. How does it feel to be back after so long? Kazuya's words leave me at a loss. Everyone says I grew up in Tokyo, but I have only the most fleeting impression of this vast city. Also, this might be a problem with all big cities, but everything here just feels suffocating. The buildings, the railway lines, the bustling throngs. Do I really fit in here? What was that? Nothing. Well, if you really want to know, I'm just a bit worried. Why this all of a sudden? We can't possibly be the only troupe in Tokyo, can we? So that's what's bothering you. It'll be fine. With you and Hatsuyuki here, all we need to do is keep doing what we've been doing. Oh my goodness, keep doing what we've done during the tours. But I suppose it's good that you're so nervous. Who's nervous? All right, have it your way. Well, Hamaro Sensei gave me the script a couple days ago. Want to go over it together tonight? Hamaro Sensei came back. Hamaro Sensei is a playwright on good terms with Kazuya. Kazuya has always held them in high regard and entrusted them with the script this time. Although Hamaro Sensei is technically a member of the troupe too, they've always been elusive. I haven't seen them a single time in almost a week on the road. I thought we'd be waiting a while longer. You mean it's just no one told me? Sorry. I was planning to tell you once we settled. Since we've been on the go lately, rest has to come first. Nihon Bashi, we're almost there. Not this again. Fine, I'll let you off this time. So this is, Ginza. The closest we get to Ginza, the more I can sense Tokyo's opulence. My only real impression is of the crowds, but here at least the extreme value of every square foot of land is almost tangible. Living in a place like this, Kazuya said we have an investors backing us, but I still can't help feeling uneasy. Not to mention the car rental fee. We used to pinch pennies to make ends meet. My thoughts drift further and further away, and by the time I regain my focus, Kazuya has already moved on to another topic. Oh, did I ever tell you about where we will be staying? Sorry, what? Apart from mentioning it's in Ginza, he never brought it up. It must have slipped his mind with everything going on. The house we're staying in, half the ground floor is rented out to a cafe. I hear it's a quite popular spot. Though coffee isn't really a novelty in Tokyo anymore, their fresh fruit ice cream is one of a kind. I remember you and Hatsuyuki loved this back in school, and you were the only ones who could afford it. I almost say, isn't it kind of weird eating old, cold treats in winter? But the look on Kazuya's face somehow stops the words in my throat. It's like he's lost his memories. Lost in his memories. Huh. Maybe I really did love those little treats back then. I'll give it a try if I get the chance. We've still got some way to go. Anything else on your mind? Okay, tell me more about the old days. I do like the art style. It's really unique. I like it a lot. Why the sudden interest? Where to begin? I guess I'll start with how things were before the troupe came together. We first met in Sasaki Sensei's piano class. You always had that stony face looking so glum. I couldn't really hold a conversation. So, Hatsuyuki tried every trick to make you smile. We found out you liked ice cream only because she dragged you to try out the nearby cafe. You barely said a word, but you sure weren't shy with the food, so... Then you blurted something out, which is how we learned that you just thought it was so cool. Hey, as much as I'd love to shoot this down, that does sound like the kind of thing I do. Judging from Kazuya's expression, he could keep going. No, I don't think that'll go well. Let's leave it at that. Anything else? How have you two been lately? You and Hatsuyuki both look so worn out every day, and your minds are always wandering. You two aren't keeping anything from me, are you? Eh? No, why would we? I haven't even said anything, and you're getting all worked up. Sorry, just what? I was teasing you earlier, but the truth is I also... well, we've had so many delays getting to Tokyo, I didn't want to bring down the morale. Kazuya forces a smile, but it seems rather strained. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have pushed you like that, but you know you can talk to me about these things. Yes, I know you worry about me too. Thank you. I can tell you have more questions, don't you? What's the script about? Hamaro-sensei said it's based on your... Right, you don't remember. You once brought back a manuscript of an old play from quite a long time ago. Hamaro-sensei took a look at it and said it was very inspiring. Apparently this new script was influenced by it. I brought that? Yes, but that was ages ago, back when the troupe was just getting started. Later he gave the manuscript to Hamaro-sensei. If you want it back, I'll ask them for it when they return. Kazuya, sometimes I think he really takes things too seriously. It's fine, no need to bother. As we speak, the car makes a turn past a cafe sign. It veers away from the bright, bustling main street and comes to a stop in a narrow alley. All that glitter and clamor vanishes abruptly along with the words I meant to say. The alley is deserted but neatly swept. The space before the doorway is lit by a dim glow of yellow lamp. The cars carrying the other members are already parked up ahead, and people are moving back and forth with luggage. Alright, let's go. I didn't even notice Kazuya getting out. The coat draped over his arm adds to his gentlemanly air as he opens the car door on my side. Never mind. Ugh, it's cold. After so long inside the warm car, it slipped my mind how biting the wind would be. I hurriedly scrambled back to grab my jacket, but Kazuya beats me to it. He shakes out the coat he's holding and wraps it around me. That's funny with him being in the front seat, and like how the picture was. He looked smaller than our character, and now he towers over him. That's kind of funny. He buttons my collar, takes a step back, and looks me over head to toe, then nods in seeming satisfaction. There we go. His faint scent of alcohol and antiseptic is now more noticeable than ever. The chilly air still brushes against my exposed skin, but for some reason I feel as if I'm burning up instead. I'll go in first. I'm trying to shake off this old atmosphere, but as I hastily barge ahead, I forget to pay attention to my surroundings. Before I know it, I've crashed headlong into a young man. It's not the pain that hits first, but a strange, cloyingly sweet smell like rotting fruit. Sorry, I wasn't watching where I was going. Are you alright, Sakuma-san? Kotori, are you okay? I'm fine. Sorry about that. I'm just glad you're okay. Let me carry those up for you. Time for a break, at last. After unpacking the last suitcase, I've got no energy left for etiquette. I collapse onto the sofa, utterly spent. Leaning against the soft cushion, I stare blankly at the ceiling light for a while until I feel myself gradually reviving. And the gifts I brought. Gifts with the Palawana seals? Palonia seals? Palonia seals? Could be. I don't know. There's still a jumbled heap in the corner. The Palonia seals, Palonia seals on the wrapping gleam under the light. I receive these gifts every month. I practically have the pattern memorized down to the last detail, but they leave me inexplicably irritated. To be honest, I have no clue who's been sending them, but Kazuya told me they've been arriving backstage ever since my debut performances, always stamped with the same Palonia seals. It's most likely some young master or lady from a distinguished family, since they get to use an emblem, but their taste is unfathomable. Most of the gifts just end up collecting dust. Oh, look at the time. Kazuya's probably waiting at the rehearsal room by now. Forget it, I'll deal with this stuff later. My hair's fine. I turn to glance behind me. It's empty. Nothing there at all. Is that just my imagination? Why am I getting so paranoid? Hey, been waiting long? Not at all. Really, wouldn't it be better to take a break tonight instead? I reflexively touch my face. Kazuya notices and can't help but laugh. Don't worry, you haven't got eye bags. Here's the script. Why don't you take a look first? He hands me a stack of neatly bound papers, the cover entirely blank. Got any rice? Oh my. Takima-sama, you've come at an unfortunate time. The aged rice is long gone. All that is left is the grain from the new harvest. Not a single bag. Not a single bag. If you want some, you'll have to come earlier tomorrow, and ready your purse for the price has risen by 1 sen. Fine. I've still got dried fish at home. A change is good for appetite. It's no big deal. I'm off. No need to see me out. Take care, sir. Penniless wretch. How long will radish leaves and dried fish fill your stomach? Sensei, you're getting distracted again. My apologies, You've seemed down lately because of the unpaid wages? You're still a student. You needn't worry about these things. I'll be here for class no matter what. No, I'm not thinking about school. It's just that I saw a job advertisement the other day for a newspaper. I was thinking, you write such fine essays, Sensei. It wouldn't hurt to give it a try, don't you think? And it pays so well. But it's been years since That doesn't matter, Sensei. There are lots of students eager to try their luck and in urgent need of your guidance. I'm out of firewood. The rice, too. Where do these rats come from? Not a grain spared. And there's still the rent. Is it true? With no money, is there no hope? At least his pen can still write. In late spring, as warmth swiftly returns to the land, I receive an invitation from an old friend, and thus I journey to a temple within the mountains to behold the weeping cherry in full bloom. How have you been? He inquires of me. Perhaps due to the heady wine, or the petals that float within my cup, I find myself wholly intoxicated. The deepest truths of my soul, it seems, can only be spoken amid such sweet scenery. Wait, why is it cut off? Kazuya doesn't seem surprised. Maybe it's a misprint? Never mind, I'll improvise for now. Oh god, this isn't timed, is it? I say, never did I think the pursuit of happiness would be so exhausting. I say, parents, the less said of them, the better, but perhaps there is some worth to be shifted from their actions. I say, I simply think in this moment all is well. Let's go with this one. I say, never did I think the pursuit of happiness would be so exhausting. Wait, what? As soon as I speak that line, the remaining text is swept away by some unforeseen force. In its place, black lines writhe and squirm across the page, weaving themselves into new words faster than I can blink. My blood feels like it's boiling, surging through my veins, searing my throat. The pain blazes like I'm swallowing flames, as if raw flesh is being torn from my mouth to feed those growing black lines. My mind goes blank. Then I manage to come to and flip ahead a few pages. The text has settled into a coherent story. There's no remaining trace of the distortion from before. My friend's face is steeped in the glow of dusk, and a faint memory stirs. No, that's not how it goes. My eyes are fine. Am I haunted or something? A dull ache blooms in my head. My temples draw tight, pounding. Those black marks imprinted on my retina still twitch spasmically in the corners of my vision. But as soon as I focus my gaze, they turn into perfectly ordinary blocks of type, lying completely still. It's as if this is how they've always been, as if everything I just saw was a mere illusion. My dazed look must be too obvious. Kazuya puts down his script with a mix of confusion and concern back on his face. Is that all for today? My eyes kind of hurt. Sorry, I've crumpled the pages. You'd better take a break first. It's my fault. I should have made sure you got enough rest before talking about the script. I'll bring you a new copy when you feel better, alright? I really don't want Kazuya to worry about me, but I know it. But before I know it, a lie comes rolling off my tongue to cover things up. Forget it. It's better to have him think I'm tired than to have him know I might be losing my mind. Kotori? Thanks. That sounds good. But I still need to read the script. Can I borrow yours for now? If the blue flash touches my face, there's a belated flare of pain in my forehead. Kazuya's copy of the script is also the altered version, but he wouldn't joke around like this, and he couldn't possibly be in cahoots with me to trick myself. Everything seems as though it's always been this way. And that thing I saw in the mirror, what is going on? Looks like curses and hauntings might not just be flights of fancy after all. Oh, Kotori. Huh? Hey, superstar, you don't look so good. Has Kazuya been giving you a hard time? Hatsuyuki. Only the sound of that familiar voice makes me realize I've been in a trance here. Who knows how long? The troupe's leading actress blinks at me. She's standing before me, her green eyes as vivid as two emeralds against her pallid skin, their gaze locked unwaveringly on my face. When did you get here? No, wait. Did you get any rest? When? Oh, I guess around the time a certain Kotori was spacing out and his stomach started growling. Growling? Alright, let's go grab a bite to eat. You can't sleep on an empty stomach. Just think of it as keeping me company, okay? Hatsuyuki takes my hand and pulls me off the sofa with a gentle tug, like a snare closing around a fledgling. Her hand is so cold, but her eyes stay fixed on me, narrowed slightly at the corners, like a cat, or a bird, or a fox, or some other sharp and sly creature waiting for my response. I can't recall exactly how close we used to be, as classmates and friends. Despite that, I think I could lose my memory all over again and still be helpless to refuse her. How about the cafe next door, shall we? The cafe's fireplace is lit. We're here right at dinner time. The air is rich with warmth and the aroma of food, perfect for soothing strained nerves. It's been a while since we last shared a meal. Thinking about it, as I nestle into a soft armchair in the corner, that feels like a lifetime ago. Hatsuyuki calls the server over for the menu. While I flip through it, she props her chin on her hand, staring straight at me. I give in, closing the menu and raising it to shield my face. I think I hear her laugh. The sound drifts across the table and winds its way into my ears. I'll have a soda water and a sandwich, thanks. What about you? Me? This one, I guess. There's a rustle from her side, then the menu is plucked from my hands. Hatsuyuki stacks the two hefty folders together and passes them to the waiting server. Once the server is gone, her gaze returns to me, her expression abruptly serious. Alright, enough of that. What's with you today? You seem so out of it. You're giving me a real scare. I'm not like Kazuya. I won't just let you get away with, I'm fine. Her tone is light, but I know that she means it. There's no bluffing my way out from under her gaze, not today. I'm not sure where to start. Then start from, arriving in Tokyo. How about that? If you say so. With Hatsuyuki's gentle eyes trained on me, a feeling slowly stirs, the sense that it might not be too bad to talk about this after all. When I finish my last sentence, Hatsuyuki is still watching me silent and solemn. After a while, she smiles. There's something a little uncanny about it. Had any dreams lately? When I fell asleep in the car, I think I dreamed about something really important, but I can't remember what it was. Let me think. I'm sure you've heard all sorts of Japanese legends about gods and spirits, haven't you? There are more deities up in, Takamagahara than there are grains of rice in a vat. Wait, are you serious? Since your surname is, Sakuma, I'd say that's the most likely possibility. Here, hold up your hand. Block the light for me. What's Sakuma got to do with it? Even as I think this to myself, I'm already reaching out to enfold her small, cold hand in mine. That odd flowing sensation revives within me, a restless current which seems to be drawn towards something, but without the searing pain from before. In Hatsuyuki's hand, specks of light emerge from nowhere. They flicker briefly, and as if needed by an invisible force, they condense into a little bird that glows with faint blue light. The young bird's downy gray feathers graze against my fingertips, leaving an airy wisp of warmth. It perches on Hatsuyuki's palm, head cocked to the side, looking very much like a duck. Is that a swan? When I finally managed to stutter out those words, Hatsuyuki burst into uncontrollable laughter, her shoulders heaving with mirth. In the blink of an eye, the little bird dissolves back into specks of light and fades with her chuckle. It's a duck, just a duck. But the point is, that's how it feels, isn't it? Something is about to burst, out from within you, and you have strange visions. Yes, right. We've still got some time before the food comes, so I'll tell you a thing or two. What you bear is an inborn talent. The gods generously bestowed their dregs upon the lucky few, and so we gain a sliver of power that was never truly ours to wield. Who can say if it's a blessing or a curse, but it inevitably grants us some special abilities. And of course it's passed down through the bloodline. That part isn't great. I'm not sure what exactly terminology is used in Japan, but anyway, just think of it as sorcery. Yoda? Or Shinto magic, that sort of thing. According to most, let's call them mages. According to most mages, there are two kinds of magic. One kind can be wielded by mages through study, though it still involves some simple rituals. The other is unique magic, born from the fusions of oneself with these dregs. It's known as a talent. Even with a single family, no two people share the same talent. I don't know what your talent is, but it's best to keep that to yourself. And that's because most mages have a strict taboo against magic that deals with the soul or life and death. If everyone were to treat life and death so carelessly, the world would be thrown into chaos. This kind of magic also takes a tremendous toll on the body. My point is, keep your secrets, even from me. If the burden upon the body or ear, Hatsuyuki lifts a hand and taps her temple, becomes too great, a mage's flesh will gradually mutate into a more primitive state, until they transform into a monster, mindless and deathless. Most call this process reversion, and so far, there seems to be no way to undo it. You mentioned earlier that I'm named Sukuma, so that's why you brought it up? Just like I carry the name Baryakinskaya? The Sukuma family is renowned in Japan too, after all. When we first met, you were just an ordinary person. I never expected it to turn out like this. Maybe that was an accident. I failed to protect everyone. Hatsuyuki's voice gradually lowers, and her expression clouds. Her fingers twist together. Accidents can't be predicted. That's just how they are. The waiter arrives with a tray and starts to arrange the dishes before us. Only then does the transient space of ours awaken from its heavy silence. The sandwich exudes just the right amount of heat, and the wheaten aroma of the toast mingles evenly with the fragrance of the scrambled eggs and steak. Combined with the lettuce sprinkled with sauce, it all sparks a rare thought within me. That seems worth a try. Before Hatsuyuki sits a plate of konjac drizzled with black syrup, she frowns as she struggles to swallow an entire piece. She once said that she hates this sort of thing since it's like biting into a limp and slimy slug. I might be making my doubts too apparent. After catching her breath with a gulp of lemonade, Hatsuyuki begins to speak, uncharacteristically hesitant. Don't give me that look. I need to keep in shape these days. I don't want to have to adjust my costume later. How do you like the food here? Well, my tongue's having a pretty good time. Is that so? Good. Oh, right. Tomorrow, do you want to check out the theater Kazuya booked for our performance? We can try setting up on stage. Who knows, it might help set the mood. And satisfy curiosity? And satisfy my curiosity. I'm still drinking my soda as Hatsuyuki forces down the plate of konjac, settles the bill, and thrusts her hand out the door to catch the falling snowflakes. She's always had impeccable table manners. That konjac must have really put her off. I pull on my coat, doing up the buttons as I pass through the motley crowd loitering in the cafe, until a strangely familiar figure brings my feet to a standstill. It's a girl clad in an ornate gown, expressionlessly sipping her drink. The red and gold flare of her skirt reminds me of a fish gliding through dark water. Her table is laden with dishes, and a maid stands next to her, slicing the food. The girl's back remains fastidiously straight. Even her spoon swirls through her coffee without a sound. But when those golden eyes turn in my direction, a shiver runs through me, like a serpent just clamped down on my neck. Snapping back to myself, I flee. I shove open the cafe door and put its bulk between me and her gaze. What's up? Why the rush? Nothing. We should get back. Hatsuyuki saunters down the street with me in tow. The skies darken, and a thin layer of snow carpets the ground, already melting in the warm air issuing from the storefronts, and then freezing again to form slick ice beneath our feet. Round the corner, a simple udon stall sits at the mouth of the alley. The rich scent of oil and soy sauce bubbles forth. It brings some touch of life to the otherwise deserted alleyway. Even from this distance, I can hear the drunken hubbub in the stall. Chief, can you keep it down? What? So that bastard can dump his hot potato in my lap, and I can't say a damn thing about it? How's that even supposed to work? He claims he's got no connections, so he thinks I've got enough to deal with that old fox's tricks? But we don't have any other choice. Shibata-kun, as soon as something comes up, you're always cringing with your tail between your legs. Knock it off. Though it's not like I can handle this either. Tell me, what the hell does he want from us? The kid refuses to go home. What am I supposed to do? Break his legs and drag him back? What a shit show. Guess I've just got to put up with it. Chief, please, that's enough. Huh? The inebriated woman suddenly swivels, like she has eyes in the back of her head, and shoots a glance right at us. Then she gives the young man next to her a hard smack on the shoulder. Ow, Chief. Whatever, just eat your noodles. By the time we skirt around those two drunkards and make our way back to the lodging, night has fully descended. Ahead of me, Hatsuyuki quietly nudges the door ajar. Then, like a squirrel, she slips through the narrow gap. Warm air billows out from within, and a faint tingling ache slowly returns to my cheeks, numb from the cold wind. It's pitch black indoors. I can hear scattered rustling sounds. Huh? Why are the lights all out? Hatsuyuki and I are back. Where's everyone? 1, 2... What? Whoa! Welcome home, Sukuma-kun. Golden flakes and colorful ribbons cascade from above, accompanied by the clicking of a light switch. Troupe members pop out of hiding in every corner of the first floor, like mushrooms after rain, their hands still dusted with flecks of gold. Seizing the moment, Hatsuyuki swiftly wraps her arm around my shoulders, leaving me no chance to dodge the ensuing flurry of embraces. You guys, what's going on here? Of course, we're celebrating the grand finale of our Emerald Eye Troupe's national tour of Tokyo. Sure, we ran into some delays this year and didn't get to schedule any shows, but from Kyoto to Nagayo to Osaka to Tokyo. Oh, and all those little towns in between, we've been going strong for 2 whole years. It's been rough. Aburatani-kun and I spent the whole day unpacking and settling in before we even think about pulling this off. And wow, our costumes won't even fit inside 2 huge wardrobes now. Who would have thought? Everything from Morlaix to Shakespeare, but we didn't notice at the time. It's only when you start taking stock of all the costumes and props that it really hits you. And there's more. Oh right, we're also celebrating that the Fool's Feast has already sold. How many tickets was it again? It's a full house, 800 seats, plus the VIP boxes on the balcony. That's right, on opening night, even after laying low for nearly a year, people still remember us. Naiwa's vibrant voice practically drills through my eardrums into my skull. I curse myself for not having 2 extra hands to shield my ears against the onslaught of sound waves. Enough of that. And then there seems to be loyal fans of the troupe visiting from elsewhere. They've come all this way just to see this performance. It's all thanks to our leader and everyone, and of course, Sukuma-kun especially, or else we wouldn't be doing this well. Guys, that's enough. Oh, what's the matter? Could it be our hotshot leading man who sells out entire theaters is shy about being so popular? Don't you join in too? But of course, who can resist this awkward look on Kotori's? This awkward look of Kotori's, when he's obviously over the moon, but thinks it's uncool to get excited about compliments. Hatsuyuki lays bare my exact thoughts with a grin, and Kazuya and the others laugh. The heat rising to my face might be enough to steam me alive. Alright, my cake is ready. I'm not too late, am I? You're all in such a good mood. What are you chatting about? Miko-san, you've gotten into Western desserts now on top of all the Japanese cooking? Since when? This cake, it can't be. I heard from the cafe owner next door. A celebration needs something special. You like this flavor, don't you? Before you get into that, Matsuo-kun's sneaking a bite. I saw him. Oh, I'm just sampling the flavor. It came out great. You guys, cut it out. I haven't had any yet. After the whirlwind of chaos, all that remains is an empty plate and cutlery smeared with cream. One by one, Kazuya persuades everybody to return to the room since it's getting late. The first floor, so lively a while ago, now hosts only Hatsuyuki and me, along with the scattered remnants of gold flakes, ribbons, and confetti. Every iota of strength is drained from my body. My eyelids are so heavy they can barely stay open. Ugh, I'm so tired. It's gonna be such a hassle cleaning this up. Hatsuyuki chuckles when she hears this. Well, it's a celebration after all. It was Nanaiwa's idea, so let's leave the cleanup to him. What matters is that we all had fun. She skips light-footed up the stairs, then whirls back, wreathed by the lights, and waves at me. Okay, I still need to have a chat with Kazuya. It's been a long day. You better get some rest, superstar. We've still got that theater trip tomorrow. I am really exhausted. Back in my room, I can't even be bothered to wash up or get changed properly. Almost as soon as my head sinks into the soft bedding, sleep engulfs my eyes. Perhaps because so much happened today, my sleep is flooded with a dizzying array of fragmented dreams. When I next open my eyes, the room is still shrouded in darkness. My body feels like lead, and a sharp, sour taste clings to the back of my tongue. I'm so thirsty. What time is it? I switch on the bedside lamp. The warm glow of the bulb sheds a dim, amber light across the room. The desk clock emits a steady, mechanical ticking. In the faint light, I can just make out the hour hand pointing to the 11. I shut my eyes and try to will myself back to sleep, but my mind only grows more and more alert, and every sense sharpens with it. My ears are flooded with the sounds of the wind, the clockwork, and my own heavy breathing. Noises that I would normally overlook now echo through me like roaring thunder. Can't sleep. Might as well get some air. The troupe is dead silent at night. I gently close my door, treading carefully across the carpet. I wander idly through this still unfamiliar building, by the ashen moonlight streaming in from the windows. My room, Hatsuyuki's, and Kazuya's are on the second floor. Himaro Sensei's room is on the other end of the corridor, though they seldom stay over. It's probably gathering dust right now. Looking down over the corridor banister, I can see the reception hall and Kazuya's office. Opposite the office are the dressing room and rehearsal room. With nothing better to do, I reread the nameplates on all the doors, then follow the moonlight stairs upward. The third floor houses the other members. Every door is shut tight, as if the occupants are already deep in slumber. The window at the end of the corridor looks upon the late-night streets of Ginza. There's no sight or sound of humans, only the gas lamps and the stars, shimmering together in soft hues. I tiptoe down the corridor, and as I pass one of the rooms, the murmur of voices brushing against my ear. I did eat something today. I tried to throw it up when I got back, but I just can't get it out clean. Is that Hatsuyuki? Do you think it'd be better to cut it open and clean it out? The person answering her seems to be standing further away. Their voice is too muffled to make out. Have you gotten any better at this? The stitching last time was a real mess. I could feel it even through the clothes. But it's my fault too. The more times it's cut open, the harder it is to sew it back together. Usually I can empty things out just fine. I don't know what's wrong today. But are you too tired for this? It's winter, so it'll be a while before things start rotting. That should be fine, right? What are they talking about? I take an instinctive step back. The floor creaks beneath me. Who's there? I mean, that sounded wild. Footsteps approach. I turn and flee. No time to worry about the noise. All I want is to get back to my room as fast as I can. My ears are ringing from the sprint, which drowns out any sound of the door opening and closing. It's only back in my room that I realize I'm gasping for breath. I can't go back out there. I lie back on the bed and steady my breathing, but my mind can't help circling back to the words I overheard. Is Hatsuyuki sick? Before I can make sense of anything, sleep, summoned by all this exertion, claims me once more. Just before it takes me under, I think no matter what, I have to apologize to her tomorrow. A dreamless night passes. When I wake, it's already broad daylight outside. I tidy myself up and head downstairs. Kazuya and Hatsuyuki are already up, on the first floor. I'm not sure what they're discussing. Ah, is our sleeping beauty finally awake? We were just talking about you. Morning, Kotori. What were you two talking about? Me? We were wondering if we should get breakfast together, but Kazuya is such a busy guy. I couldn't talk him into it. Yes, there's an investor coming today, so I might be tied up this morning. Hatsuyuki shakes her head regretfully, then makes her way behind me and gives me a little shove. Looks like it'll just be the two of us then. By the time we get to the cafe, it's well into the morning. There are already a few tables occupied. The girl I saw yesterday is seated in that same spot next to the window, her head slightly lowered as she sips her soup in silence. I push down my budding unease and find a spot to sit with Hatsuyuki. There's a partition adorned with greenery which blocks the view, making me feel somewhat better. Yuki calls over a server and orders a cup of hot milk. I still don't have much of an appetite, so I just ask for a croissant. Something on your mind? I couldn't sleep last night. Hatsuyuki adopts a theatrical look of dawning revelation. After the waiter sets down her food and walks away, she knits her brow and lowers her voice. So that was you. This may be a problem. What kind of problem? Are you sick? Or is it that thing you mentioned? Magic? Spells? Oh dear, I'm just teasing you. It's no big deal. I'm in good health. Let a girl have her little secrets. She picks up her cup and takes a sip. Though her face is wan, her demeanor still brims with vigor. Did I interrupt you two? You could say that. It was quite the shock. Sorry. Hatsuyuki sets down her cup, stroking her chin with a mock-serious air. To make amends, how about you go to Yokohama with me to see the flowers after the performance? I hear they're opened a new park over there. You and Kazuya both need to take a break sometime in the spring. It's settled then. Alright, eat up before your food gets soggy. Don't rush me, I'm gonna chow. We finish our meal, and just as we leave the cafe, a car pulls up to the alley entrance. A young man gets out of the car, shakes open a black umbrella, then bends down to open the back door. A long-haired man, draped in a horori steps out of the car. The umbrella shields him from the swirling snow, and even as he is escorted into the alley, his striking scarlet figure stands out stark against the sea of gray. My gaze lingers on his back. When that face comes into view, even for a fleeting glance, I can't help but freeze. Who is he? What was that? Nothing. Let's go. The theater reserved for the premiere isn't large, but its decor is surprisingly exquisite. You two are members of the Emerald Eye, right? Are you here to check on the auditorium setup? Motitsuke-san has rented a small auditorium here for rehearsing on a long-term basis. It's been set up as requested. I can show you two around. How is he paying for all this? Are we free to use it? Of course, please follow me. We follow the theater staff down a hallway carpeted in red wool, finally stopping before a massive door of black wall. The door stands ajar. It takes the staff members some effort to pull it all the way open, revealing a sizable thrust stage. The grand drapes are drawn, exposing the set behind. Several crew members are adjusting the lighting. Just as our guide said, this place is ready for use. Hatsuyuki stares briefly at the stage, then turns around. She's silhouetted against the lamplight. Her eyes gleam from the shadows. Now this doesn't happen every day. How about we give it a go? In the blink of an eye, Hatsuyuki whips out 2 scripts of his by magic. She tucks one into my arm, and I feel an answering twinge of eagerness. Ever since the accident, Kazuya has insisted on my recuperation. It's only in the rehearsal rooms that I regain any sense of being an actor. But faced with a real stage, however, I feign nonchalance. There's no deceiving myself. I can't pretend I have no desire to stand upon it. Well then, let's try. Ah, why, oh why? What I wish to write, what I long to say, that is all which matters. Nothing else, no worldly concerns, should hobble my step. Sensei, are you there? I brought you some rice. You haven't been to class lately. The students are all worried, so I came to check on you. Is everything all right? Why didn't the others come? They have household chores to attend to. I haven't fully recovered from my illness yet, and I'm not needed at home. I figured I'd come see you. If I can but silence her, peaceful days will be mine once more, for a time. Time, precious time. I simply need to make it an accident. In that case, come in. Did anyone see you? The spotlight falls on Hatsuyuki. She opens her mouth, but no sound comes out. It's her line next. Why isn't she speaking? In the stifling frozen silence, my unease grows. I hear the crew muttering. Hatsuyuki? The instant I say her name, her body sways. Then she collapses heavily onto the stage, landing with a dull thud. What's wrong? Are you okay? My mind explodes into tumult. I practically trip over myself scrambling to her side. She lies quietly on the cold, dusty floor, her cheek smudged with a trace of grayish powder. No matter how I shake her, there's no hint of response. I reach out a trembling hand, holding my breath. I gently bring it to her nose. She's not breathing. I push my nerveless hands against her chest and press up and down again and again. It has to work. She'll be fine after this. That's what they all say. I press into my hair. I press until my hair tumbles over my eyes, until fine beads of sweat ooze from my forehead. Hatsuyuki opens her mouth and lets out a soft sigh. I knew it. I knew it would work. Thank goodness. Hatsuyuki, don't scare me like that. Please wake up. Wake up? Stiffly, I press my ear against her chest. There's no pulse of life, only coldness and decay and a cloying sweetness wafting from her collar like rotten fruit. This has to be a joke. Just a joke. It can't be. No. You were just talking. Don't tease me. What's wrong with you? Are you mad at me? Hatsuyuki's lips are parted, unspeaking. I stare at her face. What changes have I missed in the past minute, the past half hour, the past day? Her eyes are wide open, usually an adorable sight, but now those unblinking glassy eyes fill me with terror that drenches me in cold sweat. I can't look directly at them. How absurd everything suddenly is now. How ridiculous. We ate together and made plans to look at flowers in Yokohama, and were enthusiastically performing just minutes ago. How can someone just die like this? Like every color has drained away in the blink of an eye, leaving behind nothing but a pale, empty shell. Where did she go? There's so much noise around me. After a while, it occurs to me that the crew is screaming. Someone pulls me away. I tumble to the ground. It doesn't even hurt. Hey, watch out. Something's wrong. Call Kazimatsuri-san. The stage lights shine down upon her. White light enshrouding white corpse, white dust drifting in the air. Uniformed people closing around the body, and the glossy green eye pierced through a gap in the crowd, staring straight in my direction. Suddenly, it shifts. Oh, that was creepy. I blink my dry eyes and finally see. In the shadows, amidst the dust and light, lurks a green-eyed monster. The monster ripples outwards, flowing across the stage. The monster looks at me. It crouches over Hatsuyuki's body, like a soul untethered from flesh, a fetus bursting from the womb. I've seen it before, in the mirror, the white-feathered monster. How very impolite of you, Mochitsuki-kun. I merely came to inquire how the boy is doing. I never imagined matters would take such a hazardous turn. Alas, now that it has come to this, I can only offer my sincerest apologies. You. Has your wound split open? Youngsters are so reckless with their health. I'd appreciate you keeping this meeting between us. Mochitsuki-kun. After all, when it comes to family, it's only natural to get a little carried away. Wouldn't you agree? You drove Kotori away years ago. He doesn't remember a thing now. Why are you still... Why? Michitsuki-kun, you ought to understand the reason better than I do. One more thing. I'd rather suspect that my dear Kotori remains unaware of whatever you and Miss Baryakinskaya have been keeping from him. Am I right? How do you know that? Minori-san, the snow has stopped. My, look at the time. Well then, let us draw this little encounter to a close. Machitsuki-kun, if you would be so kind as to inform your teacher that I would very much like a word with them in the coming days, preferably sooner rather than later. Come along, Serena. So many stitches. My, this is quite something. The skin seems partially translucent. And what's that? They laid on the powder really thick. It's pretty well preserved. I've never seen a spell like this before. A fine piece of work. Well, since it can go on stage, I guess with enough makeup, it looks just like a living person. No wonder you called me in. Good job remembering to evacuate the citizens this time. Declare it to a medical emergency, whatever works. Where's the person who came in with it? Did you get a rundown yet? Still no response. Come on, did it really scare him out of his wits? Hey, look up. An acute, intense jolt of pain spreads through my jaw. But it's nothing. Nothing compared to the dying agonies the Hatsuyuki endured as she lay there. If I'd noticed earlier, would everything be different? Anguish engulfs me, smothering me, rising from the depths of my dried-out eyes. My mind restlessly chews through memories, spitting out scraps of detail I once missed. If only we'd gone to the hospital earlier, gone back to rest earlier, if only. Somebody is speaking. The sound grates like the ringing in my ears. Hey, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Sir? Why, I thought I was supposed to have some magical talent. Why could I only watch her die right before my eyes? Something so useless, utterly useless. Was it because of that monster? It followed me here and killed Hatsuyuki, and I did nothing but lead it to its prey. I've had enough of this. Ignore me, will you? Snap out of it. Ugh. A gust of wind pierces sharply through the side of my neck, then dissipates, leaving behind an icy sting and a damp sensation spreading across my skin. My nerves trembling from the narrow escape pull me back to the very reality I refuse to face. I look up and see a familiar face. It's the woman who I saw stinking drunk at the udon stall last night. She's standing before me now, arms crossed, gazing at me with oblivious displeasure. At the sight of my face, she barely falters and her brows draw together. She swiftly regains that impatient expression. Huh, so it's you. Me? She doesn't seem to be bothered by the conversation we overheard last night. She just turns again to glance towards the crowd of uniformed police officers all huddled around Hatsuyuki. Last night, I remember you and that girl, right? The one lying there, the deceased. You two were close, weren't you? Do you know if there was anything going on with her recently? Any illness or unusual relationships or just anything out of the ordinary that happened to her? A sticky, iridic bitterness spreads across my tongue. I could rake through every remaining memory in my amnesia-ridden brain and turn up nothing. Hatsuyuki is the same girl I've always known. I don't know anything, sorry. The woman's eyes crinkle. Her expression softens as she sits down next to me. Feeling nervous? It's okay. I'm just here to get a sense of the situation. Lots of crime witnesses don't realize that anything they've seen might be useful to us. It's probably the same with you. She might be right, but my instincts keep going back to that monster, the one that seems to be born from Hatsuyuki's corpse. It must have something to do with her death, along with what I overheard last night, but I don't know how to bring this up. The woman seems to sense my inner turmoil. She offers a reassuring smile, but it feels a little out of place. Now, I'll ask you, you'll answer. Fair enough? I'd like you to be honest with me. I'm Kazimatsuri. Itsuru Kazimatsuri, Special Investigation Division. And you are? Always helps to know who I'm talking to. Kotori's Sukuma, Special Investigation Division. I'm not surprised you haven't heard of us. Know anything about parapsychology? I've heard of a society run by professors from the Imperial University, doing research on extrasensory perception. Close enough. There are certain incidents that current knowledge, or should I say technology, can't quite explain. Those fall under our jurisdiction. Of course, as an ordinary civilian, you've got nothing to worry about. We just have our own methods, which it's best not to make public knowledge. In a city as busy as Tokyo, any secret that gets out makes its way across the city in a few days. Parapsychology, it does ring a bell. I hear there's a group of scholars fervently devoted to Western theories, trying to replicate telepathy and clairvoyance. Still, for the police to establish a department like this, does that have anything to do with those magic users Atsuki mentioned? No, I can't dwell on this right now. That monster might be... Alright, what do you want to know? In that case, I'll cut to the chase. From your point of view, over the past, let's say 6 months, would you say the deceased displayed no major changes compared to today? Seemed to behave normally, never felt seriously ill, or so on? Yes. Was there anyone she met with regularly? I mean one-on-one, family, friends, doctors, anyone at all? I rack my brain, but all that occurs to me is that outside of performances, Hatsuyuki spent almost the entire past year with the troupe. For some reason, Hatsuyuki and the others all seldom went out. No, except for Kazuya and me, and maybe Himuro-sensei. She hardly ever left the troupe, where she was mostly with me or our mutual friend. I rarely saw her approach anyone else on her own. It seems like the supply was pretty stable. Did anything unusual happen in the past few days? Did she say or do something out of the ordinary? Of course, it's fine if not. Last night at dinner, she ate something she normally dislikes. Despite saying this, I honestly can't be certain. Hatsuyuki and I were very close this past year as I dealt with my amnesia, but like most friends who see each other regularly, we didn't actually have meals together very often. We only occasionally mentioned our food preferences in passing. Only now, confronted with the situation, do I realize how much of a fool I've been. I see. Alright then. That covers the basics. Now we'll get into some questions related to the special nature of our division. It might give you a scare, but there's no time to ease you into things. You don't know what's going on with this corpse, do you? Her lips move, parting and closing, silencing the words into shards that drive themselves into my ears and steady relentless. If I'm not mistaken, she's been dead for quite some time. It's still unclear what could sustain a corpse activity for this long. With next to no decay, we'll have to hold off on closer examination until we bring the body back. But how? Ever since I met Hatsuyuki, she's always been the same. With me, with everyone else. How could she have been dead this whole time? My voice is on the verge of cracking, but Kazumotsu Sora just arches an eyebrow. She seemed just like everyone else for a long time. She spoke and she smiled, vibrant down to the smallest detail. Isn't that right? I've dealt with a few similar cases. It's rare, but not impossible. You might want to ask that mutual friend of yours if something happened to her when you weren't around. Her body shows extensive blunt force injury and numerous suture scars, like she's been pieced together. Some of the wounds have been stitched multiple times. The surrounding muscle and skin is severely damaged. Specifically, from here to there. Katsumatsuri reaches out, tracing a line from my shoulder down to my knee, until her hand finally presses against my spasming stomach. I try to swallow, but find my throat scorched dry. It throbs with a deep-seated knife-sharp pain. Katsumatsuri's eyes meet mine. I see my own reflection frozen stiff in her calm pink gaze. Eyes wide and staring, expression blank, a picture of utter absurdity. I haven't gotten to my question, but it looks like you've got something on your mind. Well, out with it. You want to know why your friend ended up like this, don't you? Spit it out. It might open up another lead for us. I open my mouth. My voice comes out hoarser than I realize. Who did this to her? And more than that, who could get Hatsuyuki to cover for them? I overheard Hatsuyuki at our place last night. She was complaining about having to cut something open to take it out. Was it something we ate together yesterday? Probably. A living corpse doesn't have functioning organs. The food scraps just rot away in the stomach, and... You're hesitating. Anything else? When Hatsuyuki collapsed, I also saw a white monster. A white monster? A white monster with wings, its head unfolding like a lily. Kazumatsuri's expression abruptly transforms. Her bright eyes pin me to the spot like a serpent logging onto its prey. Okay, last question. As Katsumatsuri speaks, she switches back to that look of mild and oh my goodness, I am having a horrible time reading today. A mild look of impatience, like that spasm of emotion just now was nothing but my imagination. This was supposed to be part where I squeezed a confession out of you, but forget it. Do you know who you've rubbed the wrong way? What? When it comes to the cases we deal with, I don't generally explain all this nonsense to the people involved. Parapsychology this, special division that, it all sounds way too far-fetched, like something out of a novel. We have our ways of making sure you'll spell every last detail, you know, and don't remember a single thing afterwards. You won't even dream about it. In closing a case, for most people, and even society at large, all we have to do is find a plausible excuse to smooth things over. Say an acute heart attack, or a stroke, or maybe drug abuse. There are also all sorts of stories to run with, and evidence is easy to come by. Of course, getting poisoned by a male companion is premeditated murder. That works too. And why did it have to happen in the theater in front of all these people? Chalk it up to the suspect's sense of ceremony. As for those things the suspect heard and the white monster he saw, they serve as further proof that this actor was so immersed in drama, he lost the ability to distinguish between fantasy and reality. Delirious and raving, he turned his blade on the victim who came to the theater with him. During our inquiry, we noticed that he avoids eye contact, his demeanor is furtive, and if he's hiding something. This is highly suspicious, and after a few rounds of questioning, the witness will all develop the same impression. Do you follow what I'm saying? You're threatening me. Very clever, but let's not put it that way. Call it a mutual beneficial opportunity. You don't want to know what happens to people we take into custody. What do you get out of telling me this? You got a real knack for tough questions, you know that? Her roar of laughter draws the attention of the remaining officers in the theater, but she casually waves them away. She turns back to me, dashing the tears of laughter from her eyes, and slowly holds up 2 fingers. First off, someone asked me to stir up some trouble for you, but I can't stand him. Second, it's because of that thing you saw. A head cleft like a blossom lined with fangs, wings towed in its wake like a weighty shadow. Should the might of its attention befall thee, then shall the 8 emerald eyes swivel as one. Lord Octoteropus, as those black magic practitioners call it. I've spent years in hot pursuit of it and its followers. It appeared next to the deceased, meaning that your friend, who was turned into a living corpse, was almost certainly under the control of a black mage who worships it. We're after the same thing. Don't you want to learn the truth behind her death? The mage is sure to know more than either of us. I can let you walk out that door unharmed, but in return, you have to help me find them. I guess I don't have much choice. What do you want from me? Ordinary people can't see the shadows of the gods. You can do that, can't you? With those words, Ketsumatsuri extends her hand before me. A whirling gale erupts from her palms, striking me square in the face. I instinctively hold my breath, my ears filled with the lingering wail of the wind. This is, I clamp my mouth shut, but I can tell from Ketsumatsuri's face that it's too late. You don't have to get into specifics. I'm not that much of a snoop, and I'm not interested in Sakamura family secrets. The point is, the fact that you can see Lord Octopteropus, I can't say that, Octopteropus, makes you a rare and insatiable new recruit for them, and I'll find some way to get the news to them. But judging from that reaction just now, you've something you'd rather keep from me, don't you? If you like, you can go take care of whatever you want first. I'll be in touch when I can, or we can wrap this up quickly, and then I'll handle the rest myself, meaning you'll be out of it. What do you think? Sorry, I went to head back first. Let's deal with this case first. We're gonna go, let's deal with this. And here I thought you'd go the other way. Okay, fine. I'll drop it. Well then, Kotori, Tsukuma-san, may I trouble you to accompany me back to the precinct? What will you do with Hatsuyuki's body? I mean, corpse. Oh, that. We'll have to do an autopsy and analyze whether any magic was cast on her body. Once we're sure everything checks out, we'll notify her family. Depending on the situation, the body might be returned to her family for burial, or we might handle all of that. If so, I'd like to make a request. Katsumatsuri gives me a non-committal smile. Her fingers tap lightly and regularly against the arm of the chair, striking up a staccato rhythm. Give it a shot. Who knows? I might even say yes. Hatsuyuki's body? No corpse. Can I take a look later? Once I've spoken to the others in troupe, it won't take long. Oh? Now that it's come to this, I have to see things through myself. There's so much I've forgotten. Hatsuyuki was already like this when I met her, and now that she's gone, I can't let those scars be buried with her. At the very least, I need to know. You've never seen a corpse up close, have you, oh dainty young master? Try not to scare yourself, silly. Well, since you asked, of course I can arrange a little thing like that, but you'll have to wait until the autopsy is over at least. Thank you. Chief, we're heading back with this, and then... I know, be careful with that, or I'll dock your pay when we get back. Sabata shrinks away, shoulders hunching in terror, and hurries back on stage. He and the other officers reflexively bellow, yes, in unison, then huddle together like a flock of frightened quails. Before long, Hatsuyuki's body is lifted onto a stretcher in a flurry of activity. Her arm dangles over the side, swaying stiffly with each jostle. Finally, together with the crowd, she vanishes beyond the heavy door. As I try to raise my unsteady feet, Ketsumatsuri tugs me out of the theater seat. Before he came in, one of the staff said this place was leased to the Emerald Eye troupe. Yeah, I and Hatsuyuki, we're both actors in the troupe. I see. Katsumagori signals to me to follow her. Her boots are made of tough leather, but their heels sink into the carpet with only a soft rustle. Perfect. I remember we've got some files about the troupe in our archives. I'll show you. What files? An uneasy premonition is forming in my heart. Just what could have been happened for the troupe to end up in the police archives? It's nothing illegal, but, well, you should see for yourself. Katsumagori finishes speaking just as we reach the theater entrance. The accumulated snow glints beneath the darkened sky. Wind whips through the open door, trailing moonbeams in its wake. They weave together into a blast of bitter cold that I feel in my bones. What should I say, and what should I do? Before we return to the theater, before the suspended blade comes down upon my neck. But in this moment, I can't help thinking, if only I could just stay here forever and ever. Until I figured out a way to spin this tale that will spare everyone's tears and transmute agony to blissful relief. That would be perfect. Ketsumasuri and I board the last car in the police convoy. Perhaps because of the late hour, the car speeds through mostly deserted streets with so many bumps and jolts that I almost throw up the few scraps left in my stomach. It's only when the car halts before the police station that I can finally catch my breath. Come on, let's make this quick. As Ketsumasuri yanks the door open and urges me out of the car, the junior officer driving the car has long since made himself scarce. Maybe he's terrified as an intimidating superior too. The entryway to the police station is remarkably imposing. The two-story Western-style building is adorned with ostentatious marble columns. It's plain to see that they have a generous budget. It must have been renovated, or maybe it was just built recently. I follow Ketsumasuri through that brand-new doorway. We occasionally cross paths with some uniformed police officers. They seem to be a low-ranking and are scrupulously polite to Ketsumasuri and to me riding on her coattails. But even before we get too far, their true colors become clear. I can hear the venom they spit behind our backs. It's not pleasant. I reflexively glance at Ketsumasuri, who shows no sign of having heard a word. She leads me through the main hall, along a moonlit walkway lined with snow and withering twigs, and down another flight of stairs. Finally, she stops in front of a door labeled Archives. And here we are. Are you sure it's fine to let me in like this? It's fine. There's no one else around this light. Besides, that Tsukuma name of yours opens a lot of doors. But you got a point. Hold on a second. Ketsumasuri raises her hand, bringing together her gloved index and middle fingers. With light and swift gestures, she scrawls a line of words on the door. I can't make out what she's writing. When she finishes the last stroke, a gust of cold wind suddenly sweeps through the warm corridor. The rapid squall whistles through the air, tussling my hair and clothes. The swirling winds converge on that ordinary, nondescript door. Ketsumasuri's writing flashes brilliant for a moment, then goes dark just as quickly. Finally, like the dissipating wind, it vanishes without a trace. It's completely different from what Hetsuyuki showed me. This is a magnificent power that's never bothered to hide its dangerous fangs. That'll do it. And with that, she pushes open the door and confidently strides in, quickly vanishing out of sight behind two cabinets. The metal surface of the filing cabinets warps my reflection. Countless cabinets hold countless copies of me like a labyrinth of mirrors, thousands of eyes glittering back at me from depths flashing green or blue under the incandescent lamps. I shut the door behind me and head inwards, following the sound of the tapping boots. The reflection of both sides follow me, their severed bodies swaying. The metal flashes white before my eyes. It's nothing like glass. That whiteness is completely blank, devoid of any reflection or stain, and an empty desert as hazy as mirage. I look myself in the eye. The reflection is sightless, but I'm seized by the inexplicable feeling that I'm being watched. Surely it's just an illusion, because my reflection's eyes are so clear that's the only explanation. Found it, Tsukuma? You still there? Ketsumasuri's voice drifts to me. I squeeze my ways between the filing cabinets and spot her at the row of cabinets against the wall. She's holding a slim folder. Here you go. These are all duplicates, so just put them back in when you're done. She slaps the folder against my chest. I have to scramble to keep it from falling. There isn't much inside, just an old newspaper, a few photographs, and a sheaf of reports. The old newspaper rustles as I pick it up. It seems to have been lying there for quite a while. The front page is dominated by an article about the train accident. Signal failure or human error. Takedo main line derailment accident exposes hidden hazards. Death toll 143. My throat feels parched just from reading this far. The printed text sears into my retinas. A familiar pain is spreading through my temples as if I've been struck by something heavy. Echoes ring through me. With trembling fingers, I peel away a photograph from the clip stack. And I get a stark black and white view of the train tumbling from the tracks, engulfed in flames, and the broken and shattered human bodies. It's impossible to tell the dead from the living. There are up-close shots of severed limbs. I can see the mangled flesh and stumps of bone. My brain throbs. I'm gonna throw up. I'll splatter these pictures with hues of fat, marrow, and bone. Ugh. Oozing yellow fat, ashen white ends of split bone, soft pink tendons enfolding them, blood slowly oxidizing from crimson to rust brown. When the human body is taken apart, it should resemble an oil painting in lush colors. But when it's truly laid bare before me, carelessly splashed with pigments, its cross-section on display to the entire world, my only sensation is horror. Everything was scorching hot in the wake of the explosion. I could feel someone hauling me along, blood streamed from my ringing ears. But amidst the arid stench of burning chemicals, my lungs kept working. No matter how much I wished they wouldn't, they still faithfully brought me a scent that roused my appetite. My brain was in ecstasy. It told me that this was the aroma of roasted flesh. The smell which assailed me feels so palatable now, so indelible, as if it might truly have made my mouth water and my stomach growl. As if, among the screams and moans of my fellow humans, it might have filled me with the craving to set upon them, to bite and swallow and devour. Maybe this isn't just a hallucination. How else could I so vividly imagine the itch of the blood creeping across my skin? My mind stopped short, but I'm reeling in terror. Did I do something else to them in that expanse of the darkness beyond my mind's reach? Did I sniff? Did I lick? Did I... Hey, you okay? Katsumatsuri lightly pats me on the shoulder, then plucks the photograph out of my hand. Its crease from behind clutched too tightly. She flips briefly through the photographs, then tucks them away in her pockets, pulls a sheaf of documents out of the folder, and shoves them into my hands. It's like she's draping a cloth over a box so I can no longer see what's inside. All I'm left with is that hallucination, so real and so substantially insubstantiable at once. These are rougher going than I thought. You should try reading the text instead. I swallow my saliva. The noise seemed to ring loud in the quiet archives. Katsumatsuri might have heard it, but if she so simply arches an eyebrow and waits for me to speak. I remembered something from back then. Back then? When the train derailed. I think something exploded. I smelled burning. My head is spinning. My stomach churns with nausea. Speaking is an ordeal. Every word feels like it has to be ground into powder and squeezed through the gaps between my teeth. The burning, it was... That's enough. Sorry. Katsumatsuri seems a little startled, but she swiftly makes a hold it right there gesture, cutting off any further speech. Huh? No need to apologize. What I mean is, you only just remembered all this. Telling me about it right away can't be easy on you both physically and mentally. I know about these things. I've been there too. Facing your fellow humans, thinking how delicious they smell and holding back your appetite, or whatever you call it. It's not easy for a regular civilian to deal with. Her voice and demeanor are completely calm, a silent balm to my strained nerves. Besides, you were so badly injured you lost your memory. I doubt you could move around that much. If you didn't do it, you didn't. You don't have to beat yourself up over thoughts that never came true. The point is, you've had amnesia and only just remembered all this. It's not your problem. Do you want to keep reading? Yes. I take a few deep breaths, and when my emotions have settled a little, I pick up the sheaf of reports. But as I read, a nagging feeling strengthens that something is off. I subconsciously frown. The preliminary investigation found that a moderate-sized explosion occurred in Carriage 9, but no explosive residue was detected at the scene. What does this mean? It means that the explosives in that carriage amounted to around 3 can of gunpowder. Their explosion caused the carriage to overturn and triggered a whole series of other reactions. But no trace of them was found. In a situation like this, it's only reasonable to run a sweep for magical activity. But I wasn't in Tokyo at the time, so it couldn't be done. Or rather, they didn't want to deploy manpower from this side, and now there's no way to follow up. Didn't want to. It's a matter of life and death. And so what? Someone wanted to cover up. Someone's willing to pay the compensation. And certain people needed proof that I and my Special Investigation Division are all useless waste of space. Something else seems to occur to her. Her expression darkens and she says no more. I replace the investigation report in my folder. Katsumatsuri reties the strings with practice ease and shuts it away again in an unlabeled cabinet. Are you angry about that? I feel like I ought to be angry, and I am, but for some reason, I'm not particularly surprised. Just as I've personally witnessed before and heard from others, this sort of internal strife is inevitable between people. It's not rare by any means. What matters is how you turn it to your advantage. The ache in my forehead swells and sharpens. I don't like this line of thinking, and what I hate even more is that, for some reason, my brain has accepted it as a routine truth. My neck feels like it's snapped under this weight. My head sags lower and lower, about to kiss the dirt at my feet. And for some reason, there's a constant shimmering unease in my heart. 143 people. Was there really no one else injured in the troupe other than me? Katsumatsuri strokes her chin. Then she speaks, dispelling the heavy silence that was starting to descend. Stop spacing out. Now that you've gotten your intel, it's time to help me out. Ah, yes, right. What is it? My tangled skeins of thought are abruptly shoved back into my skull, and I involuntarily stammer in response. Ketsumasori ignores my lack of manners. She simply folds her arms and continues speaking. Before getting into that, I have to ask. It looks like you already know about magic, but do you have any deeper understanding of it? Deeper understanding? I must be visibly at loss, because the look Ketsugori gives me is exasperated by unsurprised, like a veteran tutor faced with a slow pupil. I thought so, but I don't feel good about throwing you to the wolves like this. It's already tough explaining the basics to precinct staff. Whatever. I sure hope you're smarter than that. I'll start with some common knowledge for mages. I'm only going to say this once, so listen up. First off, what you need to know is that these powers, the gifts from the gods, can be passed down through the bloodlines. Also, the materials used in magic rituals are pricey, and it's hard to cover the cost alone. So mages value inheritance and family ties over everything else. You've been through this yourself, haven't you? You suddenly discovered you had some strange ability, and you were all at sea? You had no clue why this was happening? Magic is kept secret from the regular public, and also from mages who don't have teachers to guide them. I nod, reflecting on how I'm still completely ignorant of my own magic, and have no idea where to even start unraveling this triangle. So you should just assume that if you butt heads with a mage, you'll find yourself in no end of trouble. I mull over Katsuri's words, wondering exactly how she figured into all this, but judging from how she's acted today, I'm guessing she's no end of trouble herself. But since it can be passed down by blood, I'm still putting together my sentence when Katsuri stops, looking uncharacteristically hesitant. She's silent for a while before finally letting out a sigh. The sound of the sigh seems to bring to life every story I've ever heard about brother turning against brother. You're spot on, and things are actually better in this generation. Before this, if a family had too many children with talents, the family mansion was essentially a coliseum. And if there was anything worth inheriting on top of that, the clash would continue until one party died. The main family fought amongst themselves, and the branch families, after defeating their own siblings, still had to vie with the main family's children. Some mages were so set on preserving the purity of their bloodlines that even... No, let's not go there. You don't need to know any more than that. Katsumatsuri speaks in a low voice, her expression pained, but she quickly shakes it off and moves on to another subject. That's all on this topic. You should also know about Altiers. For the majority of mages, this is the most important thing. Altiers? Yet another new noun, but I'm still at a loss. All I can do is wait hopefully for her solution to this riddle. I assume you just came into contact with the magic recently, yes? After a long silence, I can only reply with a brief noise of assent. In fact, I can count the number of times I've on hand, I think, derisively to myself. And these scant incidents all bear the indelible traces of Hatsuyuki's impossible to ignore or forget. Even after my nerves have been dulled by the constant barrage of blunt questions, the pain is still lodged in my memory like so many fine needles. So it was too late, huh? Alright, listen very closely to what I'm about to say. Mages, to be exact, most of these heredity guys, each have an altar that belongs to them. That's where they're in the closest contact with their divine blessings. The principles of constructing an altar are way too complicated to get into here. Basically, think of it as a series of large-scale magic rituals that take a huge toll on the practitioner. Once the construction is done, they gain a secret space that belongs to them and exist outside of this world. Unless they're unconscious or grant someone else permission to enter, that space belongs solely to them forever. I'm guessing you haven't heard a thing or two about the Buddhism and Taoism and all that nonsense. Well, an altar is the equivalent of their flower or leaf or their bodhi. It never disappears, and in the hands of a mage who lives long enough, it becomes a treasure trove. It's almost impossible to construct an altar single-handedly, which means that, effectively, only families can afford it. And since it can be transferred between people, well, I think you can guess what happens. It's inherited. Got it in one. Katsumatsuri snaps her fingers. Is it just me, or does she look relieved? She reminds me of a teacher, pleasantly surprised that a young child is actually capable of studying. I can barely imagine what sort of people she's been working with until now. It's very expensive, and its value accumulates over time, making it perfect to be passed down as a family heirloom, which means that mages who have the backing of families and mentors, and who are regarded as the next in line, basically all have their own altiers or are about to inherit them. Who knows? I bet if you go back to the Sakamura family, they'll have one ready and waiting for you. Her lips twitch as she says this, then she changes the subject again with seeming nonchalance. Ugh, I'm getting off topic. What it all boils down to is that altiers are where mages can exert their powers to the fullest extent. That's why most of them secure their altier in an object they can carry with them, so they can enter at a time. or enter anytime. For a mage who's carrying out magical studies or preparing for a ritual, their altar is the safest place to be, and it's also the most dangerous place for an invader. I need you to make contact with the worshippers, but I don't want to get you killed. If you notice that your surroundings have changed, you better watch out. What should I do if I'm trying to leave an altar? Find the exit, or get the mage to let you out, or knock them unconscious. Of course, the best way to handle it is to kill them, but in your case, just sweet talk them, no matter how much you have to bow and scrape and grovel. Dignity is less important than staying alive. Get out of there and let me deal with the rest. Speaking of which, Katsumazori's severe gaze settles on me. Her voice is stern. Do you have experience wielding magic? There's no point bluffing here. Even though Katsumazori's stare sends chills down my spine, I nod. You're honest, the reliable type. Good. That's right. That's how everyone should be. Her gloved hand grips mine. She squeezes quite hard. It hurts, but I bite back my yelp of pain before it can emerge. Because the look on her face scares me a little. It's like what exactly? It feels vaguely familiar, as if someone once inspected me with this exact same expression. Focus. Don't get distracted. Close your eyes. My eyes automatically fall shut at her voice. Before long, a soft breeze threaded with the slightest chill flows through our jointed palms and gently makes its way into my bloodstream. My heart starts to pound. The familiar tugging sensation courses through me again, and the next instant I'm enveloped in that chill. And so I can feel something, like blood, but not quite, pouring out of my heart, rushing through my veins. It swiftly and tenaciously swarms into the crevices between every cell. At last, it comes to a halt at the back of my tongue, with a faint prickling pain. This is your magic. It issues from the heart, the weakest part of the mage's body, and finally condenses in the body part you use to wield your magic. Remember the way it flows. When you need to use it, let your consciousness trace that path backwards to your heart, and call upon the magic stored in your body. If you can't sense it, extreme emotions are a good way to pressure yourself and get your heart rate up. That's a bonus technique. As Katsumazori finishes her calm speech, that chilly, syrupy feeling dissipates like a gust of wind. All that's left is a sudden molten surge of magic in my mouth. I'm seized by a strange impulse to open my mouth, to speak, and I'm absolutely certain that I have the power to make those words on the tip of my tongue become an even greater reality. My mind is full to bursting. What should I say? My situation right now is similar to how things were back then in the theater. Did the script's transformation happen because of me, or was it... My brain feels like it's crammed inside a mortar, being pulverized into a sticky pulp, but my tongue moves faster than my mind. You must be calm. As soon as the last words tumble out, the pain in my tongue fades. I hope it hasn't left a blister. There, I've said it. An abrupt hush settles across the room. Katsumazori's sudden silence makes me a little uneasy. I instinctively widen my eyes. Her expression is completely blank, but the next instant she's back to the same severe manner I remember from our meeting at the theater, as if what I just saw was a mere illusion. She loosens her tight grasp on my hand and straightens up, moving a little stiffly. Sorry, I got kind of worked up there. You okay? My hand hurts a bit. Katsumazori heaves a deep sigh. The filing cabinet casts a shadow over her features. I'll buy you something to eat, to make up for it. Sorry about that. Damn, that sure is something. Don't use your magic here, and don't go around showing it off in front of other people. If you can't be sure, they'll keep their mouths shut. Remember, how that just felt now. You can practice a bit more if you have time. After all, other mages won't be giving you time to meditate. You have a whole lot of magical power. Your talent is greater than many people I've seen. You just need practice. She lets out another sound like a sigh. She seems to be doing that a lot today. And one last thing. She rests her hand on her uniform belt, then turns her palm upward. Suddenly, something appears in her hand. It looks like a pink tentacle, its body giving the occasional squirm. This is familiar. This time, I can feel my face go rigid. Katsumazori picks up the tentacle between her fingers. It seems docile enough. I watch it wriggle like a worm, pricked up by its neck. Do tentacles even have necks? It thrashes with all its might like it's trying to escape the grip of the human hand. Familiars are also constructed, but there's no time to teach you that now. I'll go into it later. Familiars derive their abilities from their component materials and the magic used in the ritual. A long time ago, making familiars also required praying to the gods, but now that's been replaced by being purified materials. It works just as well. Most of them aren't harmless, and they aren't as small as this one here. If you ran into a familiar, you better brace yourself. I gaze at the tentacle in Katsumazori's hand, its tip flexing slowly, crawling and unwinding again. I strive to suppress my instinctive revulsion for something so alien, but I get nowhere, so I have to stop looking at it. I'm trying not to be rude, so I steel myself and let Katsumazori finish before I speak. What can this familiar do? Katsumazori's lips move, and a wave of regret bears down on me. Well, since you asked, I'm going to put it in your eye. In my eye? Wait, What's this all of a sudden? I won't be gouging your eye out or blinding you. I'm not into that sort of thing. This thing has no offensive power. It's the safest type of familiar. Even if it injures your eye, it'll keep itself hidden. You won't feel anything. You won't feel any discomfort. Katsumasori hoists the familiar a little higher, treating me to a full view of its mouthless body and plump, glistening suckers. Its purpose is to boost your sensitivity to magic, so you can visually observe any spell traces and magic residue. That way, you'll notice if a mage passes by. If you know who they are, you'll be on your guard, won't you? It'll help you stay safe. Also, if you get attacked or stumbled into someone else's altar, it'll let me know your location and I'll come to your rescue. Katsumasori seems to be completely earnest. Putting something into my eye still sounds incredibly dodgy, but I can tell from her words that she's deeply concerned with my personal safety. Does this just come with being a cop, or did something happen before? Her brilliant eyes are trained on me, but no matter how I try, I can't discern any trace of lie in their tranquil depths. It's rude to pry into someone else's past. I clamp down on the urge and turn back to the tentacle, which now lies motionless in Katsumasori's hand, presumably worn out from struggling. I'm trying not to contemplate how it'll feel against my eye. Does it really have to go in my eye? Isn't there any other way? Most spells only last a short time, and anything of longer duration takes a bit too much preparation. And if you just keep it with you, an observant mage will easily pick up on it. You're sure this is fine? Of course, I wouldn't get this wrong, even if just on account of the Sakuma family. The Sakuma family, them again. Just what kind of family are they? That people keep bringing them up. If I could come back a little earlier and learn more, if I could remember what happened before, would things be different? If there's any way I can make up for it, fine, I agree. But I don't want it to hurt too much. Katsumasori seems taken aback by my ready agreement as she reaches out and cups my face. Her gloves are coarse. Her calloused fingertips graze across my cheeks and slowly make their way to my right eye, leaving a trail of warmth in their wake. When she peels open my eyelids with 2 fingers, I inadvertently choke on a mouthful of spit. My expanded field of vision can now clearly take in the incandescent light beaming down from the ceiling, and Katsumasori's face approaching mine, eyes gleaming like gems. Katsumasori picks up the tentacle. Its fleshy pink body draws closer and closer to my eye. The tentacle uncoils, its tip languishingly swaying in the air. My body grows taut with anxiety. I can feel Katsumasori's breath and the stirring of the wind. Hold still. I force my eyes to stay open. My eyeballs swivel clumsily to the side. The tentacle is coming closer and closer, so close that I can make out the faint pattern on its skin. I don't think any psychological torture could beat this. The instant it settles on my eyeball, I instinctively blink. Everything goes dark. All I sense is that touch upon my eye, vivid and unmistakable. The tentacle is icy against my eyeball. Its suckers are fastened to the most valuable part of my head, like an insect pincer pressing into rotten wood. But then it rapidly melts into my eye socket like water, dashing real tears from my eyes. I can't tell if any part of the familiar is washed out with them. Finally, a faint sliver of light reappears. Only then do I notice that my right eye's vision is blurry, like I'm peering through a pink veil. Juxtaposed with normal left eye, it feels surreal, as if the world has been split in two. Why can't I see clearly? I ask my hesitant question. Katsumasori's fingers shift from my eyelid to my eye socket. She helps to wipe away the reflective tears that are still seeping out. The gesture seems so gentle, but I might just be imagining things. You'll be fine soon. It's still fusing. She sounds so calm, her gaze lingering on my face for a long time, taking in every detail. I can't help but feel like a lab rat. I'm not sure how much time passes, but it must take a while, so long that the belated pains of hunger start to gnaw on my stomach. Finally, the color obscuring my vision drains away and everything once again looks the same as before. As my vision clears, my ears almost simultaneously pick up on the rumbling of my stomach. I can't tell if Katsumasori hears it too, but her lips do quirk upright in a slight smirk. Can you see now? Yes. Then you can go. Go and practice wielding your magic. Your body needs to get used to the traces of magic circulation. While you're doing that, I'll put the word out about you. Let me know as soon as the mage gets in touch. Katsumasori pulls out a wallet from nowhere, extracts a stiff card and thrusts it in my hand before I can refuse. It's an exquisitely crafted business card, with black lettering against a white background. It has a solid heft to it, and the embossed patterns graze subtly against my fingertips, like the touch of a chill wind. Her name, number, and address are printed neatly on the card. Under the dim light, I can see flecks of gold powder glistening amongst the ink. There's no other unnecessary embellishment. Simbashi. A personal card? For a personal matter. All right, I'll buy you dinner too. You were getting hungry, weren't you? Katsumasori lets her impeccable straight back slouch a little, as if she's setting down a great weight. Her voice sounds more relaxed too. Without that constant stern expression and graying hair, in this moment, she finally evinces some of the lightness befitting her age. I know an izakaya round here that serves pretty good food. It makes for the perfect supper. Investigating or revenge. You can't do any of that on an empty stomach, isn't that right? Before we leave, out of the corner of my right eye, I notice that my wrist is glimmering faintly with hazy tracers of blue and pink, like rippling water or silk threads. The patterns almost seem to intertwine, weaving into an intricate, unbroken skein. And Katsumasori's collar also radiates gentle sparks of mingled blue and pink, like a gemstone under the light. See something weird? Yeah, some kind of glowing powder. Ah, that's right. What you're seeing are the traces of your magic and mine. Remember, if you spot traces like this, that's when you have to be aware of everything. Absolutely everything. Having said her piece, Katsumasori shoves open the door of the archives. It suddenly dawns on me what her expression reminds me of. Like a person helplessly watching sand slip through their fingers, who suddenly catches sight of a life-saving straw. Why are you still standing around? Don't you want supper? My train of thought cut off, I reply by instinct. Coming. It's well into the night, but the police station is still a bright hub of teeming activity. Katsumasori says nothing as we walk, and neither do I. I simply follow behind her, head bowed. I lose track of how many times I falter, but just as I'm about to speak, Katsumasori suddenly stops walking. I freeze, startled. Standing in front of us is a youth. He looks quite young and remarkably haughty. His feet are firmly planted, squarely blocking our way. So you found more cannon fodder, Captain Katsumasori? If I still had any doubts as to this youth's identity, his hostile greeting has cleared those up. Katsumasori folds her arms. Even without seeing her face, I can hear the chill in her voice. That's none of your business, Kijimoto. That sort of provocation would better work on my father, if you could even get to see him in the first place. Your little brother's old enough to come stay with the main family now, isn't he? I've heard all about that boy's gifts, even here in Tokyo. How's that going? Getting worried yet? The youth's face pales, gradually floods with red. I can hear the gnashing of his teeth. His nostrils flare and quiver, and his hands at his side ball into tight fists. He's the picture of swelling fury, but under Katsumasori's stare, he can't keep his voice from quaking. Is that supposed to scare me? He's just a little brat, and the main family still hasn't named you as heir. Isn't it because of your screw-up? You think you're any better off than me? I frown. No matter what, he's taking things a bit too far, and it's obvious that he doesn't intend to let us go anytime soon. But, Officer Katsumasori, who is he? I briefly skim through the roles I played before, and I let my brows furrow more perceptibly. Are all the police in this precinct so rude and so determined to waste other people's time? What a shame. The officer looks like a competent enough sort, but clearly he just puts on a show, and I can't make head or tail of all his babbling. It's a little alarming. Maybe he should go to the hospital. Kijimoto's already flushed face takes on an even deeper hue of a drunk man. His brows shoot up, and he glares daggers at me as if he's on a verge of flinging curses. The words that come hurtling from his mouth make my eardrums twinge in discomfort. And who the hell are you? Where do you get off insulting me? Me? I'm just a regular person who happens to know a few news reporters and who can't get home because you're pestering me. Really, when Officer Katsumasori invited me here to go over the situation, I never thought I'd run into something like this. If word got out, I'd give the public quite a bad impression of Ginzo or even Tokyo. And where would we both be then? Sure, go on all about the people you know. You probably just some con man. Kijimoto's eyes are quivering, but his voice blares as loud as ever. He seems to be trying to regain his dignity with all this bluster. Is that so? Then how about you give Editor-in-Chief, Asono a call at the Labor News. Ask him if he's heard of some fellow called Kotori Sakuma. Wait, Sakuma? Your name is Sakuma. He doesn't dare to keep speaking, or to put it another way, he's weak by nature, and as soon as anyone might be able to take him down, even if he claims not to believe it, he won't have the courage to put it to the test. Katsumasori flings out her last words. They make Kijimoto's entire body go rigid. So you got my way just to waste Sakuma's son's and my precious time. All this stubborn wrangling isn't going to make your walnut-sized brain any smarter. After so many years in Tokyo, you still haven't grown at all. It's a real shame. Also, if I let my father know that you were making a scene here, throwing your name around, disgracing the Special Investigation Division and the entire precinct, well, you'd better think through how this might hurt your chances against your brother. Scram, get out of our way. Katsumasuri waves him away briskly. Through my right eye, I watch a flurry of pink wind send the youth railing. He staggers back a few steps, clearing our path. As I walk past that Kijimoto-san, now cowered into silence, Katsumasuri grabs me by the arm and we leave him behind us. Alright, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. I hope that you have been enjoying the Taisho Romance Theater. It's definitely a very interesting story, and I'm looking forward to seeing the full thing about it. With the fact that there as people who have magic, there's familiars. The girl that he was working with, she was apparently a corpse this whole time. And, when we caught her there talking to that guy, she was talking about being sewn back up again. So, it really makes me wonder what is going on with this game. And I'm definitely intrigued to see the rest of it. The art style is very interesting. I like it. And like I said, the story's really good. The writing's really good. I've enjoyed the music. And I'm definitely looking forward to putting this one on my wish list. So leave me a comment down below what you've thought of the demo so far. Please leave me a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time. Bye.